If you're looking at buying a new car, you might want to get in on it fairly quickly. There are some alarm bells ringing right now, indicators, and ones that have affected me personally and evidently affected a lot of my friends. But yeah, American Express has cut everybody's platinum, black cards, other even business cards, like from unlimited limits or $250,000 limits to like mine, which had a $200,000 limit, down to 75 grand. That's crazy. But I thought it was just me. I was super offended. And then I find out, oh no, this is going across the board. This is alarm bell time, because the last time Amex did something like this was 2008. Yeah. Quick break to thank today's sponsor, DeleteMe. One thing that's changed about scams over the last few years is that they're a lot more personal. It used to be obvious spam, right? Now scammers do their homework. They know your name, they know where you live, they know your phone number, and sometimes they even know what kind of car you own, or that you've recently listed one for sale. You ever get one of those phone calls? I'm calling about your extended warranty. And they're like just not legit, right? A lot of that information doesn't come from some massive hack. It comes from public data broker websites that collect and sell personal information. DeleteMe helps remove your information from hundreds of those sites and keeps monitoring it, because those databases are constantly changing. Think of it as reducing your digital footprint. The less information strangers can easily find out about you, the fewer tools they have to make a scam look legitimate. So here's my latest report from DeleteMe. I'll put it up here on the screen so you can see it. And you can see like all the different stuff that they removed. It's great. Anyways, if you're serious about protecting your privacy online, check out DeleteMe. You get 20% off using the link in the description. You can also use the QR code that's been on screen for the entire ad. It's one of those services that works quietly in the background but can make a real difference. Also worth mentioning, DeleteMe has been doing this for over 15 years, and everything's handled in-house, which I prefer when it comes to personal data. If you want to start cleaning up your digital footprint, go to joindeleteme.com/TK Garage and use code TK Garage for 20% off. Now back to the video. Major shout out to our sponsors over at DeleteMe. We truly appreciate them. But yeah, my platinum card, and you guys see me, it shows up every once in a while, like on social media, on Amex or something. And most people that know, if you've gone out with me somewhere, if we go out, if I'm in Houston and we go hit Bombshells, or we go out to a club, or we go out do whatever, I usually always just pick up the tab on GP because I can afford it. So, I'm not going to have my friends or other people that are struggling doing what they're not struggling, but you know what I'm saying, like building their business, doing their things when I don't need it. It's easy for me to pick it up. I had a good time. I give it that card. So a lot of people have seen that card, see which one I use. And I love American Express. Does it work everywhere? No, but I do a lot of international travel. And it's the one credit card I've never had a freaking problem with. Not in Dubai, not in Qatar, not in Thailand. Not in Japan, nowhere. Anywhere that I've gone, that card just works. They don't ask questions. I don't have to go through security loopholes. Chase, like the Freedom Unlimited card and Reserve and all the other ones that I used to have with them, fucking disaster. You travel internationally, they're flagging shit, holding shit. It's just a pain in the ass. Amex, nah, I've never had an issue. It's one of my most used business cards. Now I have 5 from American Express. And they're tied to the different businesses or whatever that I hold, right? The biggest one, obviously, being the big defense contracting company, and not the little one, but the big one. And that company, that card that I had with Amex, for the company was at $200,000. Now, there was stuff I could have submitted. I could have got that to where it was like no limit. Like you can do that with the platinum card and the black card, by the way. but I didn't ever need it. I never, at no point did I ever spend 200 grand on my Amex at any point in time. 30 grand, 40 grand. Did we need it like an engine for one of the trucks on base? Did we need, some type of supplies or computer systems, or like we have a business account with Apple? Is it time to upgrade the MacBooks or, the iMac stations or whatever? Boom, done. That's what that card was used for. And it was great for the business. It gives you great business credit. Now, though, you're seeing a lot of companies, whatever, are going to be hurting because of. And I know you're going to say, "Oh, rich people problems." Yeah, no shit. I'm not complaining. I'm fine. They can take all the credit cards. I don't give a fuck. I can use cash or use my debit card. I really don't give a shit. I like it because of the points, the cash back, some of the other stuff, some of the options that I have with the different Amexes that I have. And there's ways you can finagle shit and do shit to get better travel, better seats on Delta, for example. Uh, you know, Getting into the, Delta Club and some of the other places that cost you zero. Travel stuff, hotels, just there's different things. There's different levels to it where you can benefit from it. Anyways, I digress. Seeing this happen, and seeing this happen to like 3 or 4 of my friends, and we were in the high limit room uh, last night, and every single guy that had an Amex at the table all either had their limits cut. Some guys were like, "Eff it, you took me from an unlimited card to like 200,000." They just closed it. They were like, "Just close my account. I'm not dealing with that shit." Um, but it's a major indicator that we're about to hit a recession. Bad. And listen, American Express, right? I think what are they? Centurion Bank, whatever they're calling it, American Express, Centurion Bank, whatever their bank is, the back end of that. They are mitigating risk right now. They are seeing indicators that something bad's about to happen. And when I see that, when I see a bank take high net worth individuals and cut everybody's lines of credit, and I don't care how billionaires had their lines of credit cut. Like, this is not like it's only because you guys are millionaires. They're not doing that to billionaires. Oh, yes, they are. 100%. Businesses, individuals, everybody's cards got cut. All of them. And that is a massive indicator. This is the first time since 2008 that we've seen something like this happen from Amex. And what I find out today is, guess what happens? So this happens with American Express. And then today, all of my different cards that I had with Synchrony Bank, and if you don't know who Synchrony is, they have back end, they do a bunch of stuff. They do, I don't know if they do, but the PayPal card, I think they do that too. But they have a bunch of they have like my gas cards, things like that, right? What is it? Auto Care, Dodge Auto Care or Toyota Auto Care. I have so many different lines of credit. These are personal ones now too, and these all got cut today. I got notifications from all the different cards. My email box was full. Some of them went from, and they weren't even massive limits, man. They were like 3 or 4 grand down to $750. Like, that's crazy. And it's happening. And I think you're going to see more news like this happening from every bank. Now, this hasn't affected like any of my credit union stuff, like Navy Federal or even USA, which is a regular bank. Those credit lines haven't been touched yet. But believe me, when the big boy players start doing it, the little guys are going to catch up too. Or maybe they'll use it as an advantage or an opportunity to try to get some business. I don't know. But it is a major indicator that if you're thinking like you're going to buy a car, you might want to jump on it now to get the loan, because if there's so much weird stuff going on in the market, and I'm going to get to the Chase thing in a minute, because I know someone's going to mention that in the comments. But there's so much weird stuff going on in the market right now, like delinquencies. The amount of people that are upside down on their loans are insane in the car market, but they're still loaning. They're still pushing out loans. I'm seeing people that have 550 credit scores still going in at dealerships like my dealership here in town, like in Tobin, and still being able to get financed and drive off in a Scat Pack or an RT. Like, it's happening. But if you actively are like, let me get a good rate, let me get a good loan, let me get this in now, you might want to do it like in the next 30 days. Because I think there's something big coming down the line that's going to dry that up. where people aren't going to be able to get loans. And that's going to decimate the car market, by the way. It's going to decimate it. It's bad. And, you know, seeing that, and then let's get into the other finance stuff with Chase. Chase is trying to prop up. Part of this has to do with the housing market, but most of it has to do with the automotive market. Chase is now putting $750 billion up in this other fund to try to prop up the housing market. And basically, we're going to go back to like pre-2008 times. Like if you have a pulse and you want to get a house, you're going to be able to buy one. Are you going to be able to afford the note on the house? Probably not. But it's the regulations and stuff that were there to stop a lot of that shit have fallen off. And I think what Chase is doing now is they're like, if we could prop this market up for 2 years, maybe 3 years in terms of the housing market, they could actually mitigate the losses that they're going to have when it collapses, you know, by getting that paper out and then moving that paper. Needless to say, like I'm seeing all the indicators that you know, and I wasn't an expert. I didn't see this shit in 2008. I just took advantage of it because I was cash positive after 2008. And it allowed me to set myself up for life in terms of buying different real estate and stuff because you couldn't get a loan back then. You had to pay cash. So I say all this to say when I'm seeing like these different indicators, these different things that are going on in the market, it's dangerous. And I'm a little freaked out on in terms of what I already have in terms of investment with Stellantis. And so you guys know I'm heavily leveraged into that company, a little over 300 grand. And I've lost about half that investment already from where the stock price is from where I bought in, like a little bit under $9. And it's at like 5 something last time I checked. If this happens and we hit a massive recession, if they don't have those cheaper cars out already, like the Airflow or the GLH, and rapidly cut costs, cut price on some, you know, build some bare bones trucks, you know, the Dakota is not out yet. They don't get these vehicles out quick, they're gonna be in trouble. And it's not just them, GM, Ford, and Tesla sees this. And this is a separate video I got to talk about with this Model Q. They're coming for the auto industry's neck. They 100% are coming for the auto industry's neck. And we could see the landscape in terms of the automotive industry completely change in the next 24 months. And I got to be honest, I didn't see it coming. I didn't. But if you have an Amex card, let me know if your limits were cut in the comments. If you have a business card with Amex, let me know how that's going for you. And let's start a conversation in the comments here on it. I think it's crazy. I really do. I think it's nuts. I'm not upset about it. Look, they're a bank. No one has to loan you money. That's not how that works, right? They're not required to do that. I mean, in some cases, depending on the laws and what state you're in and what you do for a business, there's different laws. But you know what I mean. Like they don't have to say, here, take our card. You have to take, and you don't have to take it. So I just thought it was interesting. I've seen all of the stories about it, and I was like, it didn't affect me until yesterday. You know, I saw the people posting about it, and I was like, oh, this is bullshit. And then sure than shit, last night we're in the room, and I get the notifications. Doot, 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 doot. I wake up this morning, and I see all the stuff from Synchrony. Doot, 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 doot. That's a bad sign. It really is. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. And as always, stay petty, my friends.